babies in your diapers. Welcome to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.
That's me, Tiberius. Today we're going to talk about some very nasty stuff. We have an awesome video game to talk about, a book about salmon, my bone school report, and we got a totally awesome guest, the one, the Mathews. Casey is the Access Technology Specialist at Lighthouse Central Florida.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me on the show, Tiberius. I really appreciate it.
Today we're going to start off with the video of the week, and this is going to be a battle.
And now it's time for the video game of the week.
Today's video game is Tactical Battle. So this is not a game on a Roblox platform. It was made by audiogames.net. This is a free game, but it's more than just a game. This game is made by Ian Reed. You may remember one of his other games, Adventure Game Engine. This is a sound engine designed to make games that are entertaining for blind players. You heard me, blind video game players. This game is made so that you can not only play the game, but create your own strategical warfare scenarios. So, first off, I noticed that there were no graphics. There was a visual menu that was black and white, and the letters were so large for those people that are legally blind but can see a little. Then, when I moved the arrows to the computer, it would talk to me and read to me the instructions and menu items. And then I downloaded the starting map to begin. There was a black screen with a white square in it. It said that I was on square 1, 1. As I moved with the right arrow, it would say 1, 2, or 1, 3, and so forth, all the way to 1, 8. When I did the down arrow, it said 2, 8, and 3, 8, and so forth. Each time you would say the square name, it would also say what was inside the square. So it would describe a warrior with 30 hit points, and a mage with 20 hit points, and an archer with only 15 hit points. They were also bad guys as well. When you pressed enter on one of the good guys, the computer would read you a menu of what you're allowed to do, like attack and defend, and move. It took some time to figure out the controls because I did not listen to the instructions. But I did attack the warthogs, and after 10 turns, I did win the game. It was really cool that each time you moved to a square, it would have the sounds of what was in the square along with the name and descriptions. So, if the square had a witch on it, you would hear her laughing, and if it was near a stream, you would hear the water, and so forth. I give Tactical Battle 10 out of 10 stars because it was really cool to play a game that was designed to use for blind video game players, and it was fun to play and learn some things about what it's like to be blind. I could see the screen, but since it did not have a lot of information on it, I had to rely on my hearing to enjoy the game. Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org. CTaylorSmithLaw.com.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
Wait, you are not Chuck.
My dad can help when people get hurt. He loves to help.
If you are ever injured at work or in a car accident, you should call my friend Chuck.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
The website again is CWSmithLaw.com.
Offices, Orlando.
Does it actually have that much W's?
And now it's time for the book of the week, Getting to Know Nature's Children, Salmon. This book is written by Elma Skimmacher. Let me read to the back of the book. In fact, Casey, would you like to do the honors?
Sure would. So, because I am completely blind myself, I use my iPhone, one of the ways that I read books. So I am going to get my iPhone out now and have it read a few excerpts from this book.
Salmon fry, although only about 1 inch, 2.5 centimeters long, look much more like fish. Scales, tiny flat plates, cover their bodies, ellipsis, gradually. They eat larger larvae and adult insects that fall into the river or pond. The salmon are strong, quick, ellipsis, page 17. You'll change from being a child to being an adult. In a way, the life of a salmon follows the same pattern. But a salmon reaches its teen stage at only 2 to 4 years of age. Then major changes start taking place in the young fish's body. Page 37 after 2, 3, or more years at sea.
That's what it sounds like for me if I read, books, and I get the same kind of books from Kindle and all the usual places, as well as other book places for the blind and visually impaired.
So first off, this is an AR book and is worth 0.5 points or half a point. It is rated for 5th grade and 5th month. This is a great series about everything nature. This is an old book series, so they may be hard to find. So this is not like my normal books. This is not fiction. Instead, this is more of a resource book. Kind of like a dictionary, but instead, it's all about salmon. So, if you ever wanted to know anything about salmon, this is the book to read. For those that don't know, salmon are different because they are born in fresh water and they live there for 4 years. They move to salt water when they get older. So, they only live in rivers that open into the ocean. Also, when they are ready to reproduce, they swim upstream and lay their eggs in fresh water. Now, I won't tell you everything, but this is a great resource if you want to know how to keep away from predators and what it enjoys to eat. You will learn why salmon turn pink after being in the ocean and what is the difference between Pacific salmon and Atlantic salmon. What is really cool is that how they find the exact stream or river where they were born in. They always go back to the same location to have their babies. Salmon are also where we get the term used for some human children when they are called small fry. I give Getting to Know Nature's Children Salmon 9 out of 10 stars because I enjoy learning everything I ever wanted to know about salmon. I think they are one of the most mysterious fish on Earth, and I find it amazing how they migrate and protect themselves. I think it's really cool that some salmon can migrate more than once than having a second life.
The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of our awesome sponsors, SlutChannelUS.com. These guys are very, very cool. They bring 21st century surface drainage solutions to reality. They can do corporate and government work. These are the guys that make roads and bridges safe in the rain. You can see all about them at SlutChannelUS.com. That website again is SlutChannelUS.com. The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of our dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom Braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering, to trophies and awards. They can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373.
And now it's time for the interview of an interesting person. Today's going to be so much fun. Today we have the one, the only, the amazing Casey Mathews. Casey is the Access Technology Specialist for Lighthouse Central Florida.
Hi everybody, and Tiberius, thanks for having me on your show.
So first off, how are you enjoying being on the show?
Well, so far it's really interesting. I get to hear about video games that I'm interested in and some interesting books that you're reading, so it's been interesting so far.
So, to jump right in, I have no idea what an Access Technology Specialist does.
That's a great question. So what I do is I show people that are blind or visually impaired in some way where they have some vision but not complete vision, show all of those people how to use technology such as smartphones and computers, and because everything is online, you still have to get your work done, but the way that's done is quite a bit different than with a mouse or with just a touchscreen.
So, you are blind. Have you been blind all your life?
I have had a visual impairment all my life. I lost the bit of vision that I had when I was 13, and then I've been completely blind ever since.
Wow. So do you feel pain in your eyes?
I don't. I used to, but I don't now, and some people do, but I'm one of the ones that don't have any pain. I just don't see anything.
Okay, so when I close my eyes, I only see black. Is that what it's like to be blind?
That is for me. Some people have a little bit of light perception, so they can notice if you turn on a light in the room, but they can't see anything in the room. They can just tell that a light's on. I don't really have that. I just don't have any sensory information at all, just like when you close your eyes.
So you show other blind people how to use technology to make their lives easier.
Yes.
How do you learn all the stuff that you are teaching other people?
Well, I love to read. I read all the time. I read blogs, I read magazines, books, audiobooks, even Kindle books. I'm always reading, I'm always learning. I'm on several forums and email lists. I pretty much live and breathe, technology.
Okay, so what is the coolest part about being an access technology specialist?
I think for me, the awesome thing is I get to help a lot of people do what they want to do with their life. There's a lot of people that either, they go blind later in life and then they think, they can't do anything. And when you get them to a point with technology where they can start shopping and they can start doing things online and reading books again, it's a really it makes you feel really good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what is the hardest part about the job that you do?
Paperwork and taxes.
Okay, so do you notice a difference between with blind people and that were blind all their lives versus people that became blind later in their life?
Yeah, that's a great question. Some people that have been born blind, they are in some ways a little more adjusted. They a lot of times will be more willing to try new things, to go new places. Somebody that gets to be blind later in life, they have to adapt and they have to learn a lot of those skills later in life. And it's easier to learn those skills when you're born with it and you do it from day one than when you're 40 or 50 years old and have to learn, relearn everything, a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. So, one of my friends is blind and he's going to be on my show soon. He told me that you were his instructor. So does that mean you're kind of sort of a teacher?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I do is teach people to use the technology differently. And so, yeah, I've worked with Tom and I've worked with a couple other people, a lot of people, and I teach them to use technology, in a way that they can benefit from.
Okay, so I read in your bio that you enjoyed playing games on your computer. What video games do you play the most?
Well, there's two games that I really like. One is called A Hero's Call, and it's an audio game that when you play it, it makes you feel like you're right in the middle of a town or wherever the game is, and you can hear a city and horses and all kinds of neat things. So you really can, feel like you're in that environment. And the other one I play was it's a game created by in Japan, and it's kind of like a combination of if you remember, if you know about Mario Brothers and Mega Man, it's kind of a combination of that a little bit. And it's got about 100 levels in it, and I have spent hours playing that game. It's a lot of fun.
Wow. So are there board games for blind people?
There is. There is a site called RS Games, and it has several board games, everything from Monopoly to Battleship. Has a bunch of dice games like Yahtzee, card games, blackjack, and a bunch of other different card games. And the really neat thing about it is you can play with people over the internet, or you can play with computer opponents, and you can chat with people as you're playing. So it's really a lot of fun.
Wow. So I see that you are certified in all these different programs like JAWS and Zoom Text. What is the difference, and why do you need so many options?
Well, so JAWS and Zoom Text, we'll tackle that first. JAWS is a screen reader, which means that as you move around your computer, it's going to read what you're moving to. So if you're on the desktop and you move to the recycle bin, it's going to say recycle bin. Zoom Text is a magnifier, and it will magnify what's on the screen. And the reason there's so many different choices out there is because everybody, relates to being visually impaired or blind different. So some people need different kinds of magnification. Some people need a different screen reader for a bunch of different reasons. Some screen readers work better with different things than others. So you really have to know about a lot of different options to help the people that that I work with the most.
Okay, so I know that when kids see someone that looks different, sometimes they stare or try to stay out of their way. So what do you want kids that are listening to this show to know about how blind people want to be treated?
I think the biggest thing that I would like to say is, blind people and visually impaired people are the same. They just don't have, eyeballs that work. That's really the difference. If you wonder if they might need help, you can just ask, hey, can I help you? Do you need anything? But otherwise, you can feel free to talk to them, ask them questions. Questions are better than no questions. Wondering, without asking questions is, not always a good thing. So I think that's what I would have to say to that.
So what is the biggest mistake you ever made, and how did it change you as a person?
I think one of the biggest mistakes I've made is I was writing an email and I accidentally responded to my friend, and what I didn't realize is my boss was also included in that email, and I didn't say some kind things in that email, so that was not good.
Okay, so you work for Lighthouse Central Florida. We love posting about their events on my Facebook page. Can you tell me a little bit about Lighthouse Central Florida and how my listeners can help?
Yeah, so Lighthouse Central Florida is their mission is to help get people rehabilitated with a vision loss. So for me, what I do is I do the access technology part that I talked about, but we have a whole team of teachers and instructors that do different areas of somebody's life. So someone will do help with the independent living, what we call your cleaning, your personal grooming, taking care of yourself, shopping, how to find something if you drop it on the floor, how to plug something into a wall without, electrocuting yourself, those kind of things. And then we have other people that work with help people to get around. So that's with a cane, mostly, help, how to use a cane safely, how to navigate stairs, without falling or without tripping, how to walk outside and take a city bus and know where you are and, navigate those areas. And we also have a Braille instructor that will help people read Braille. So you may have noticed those signs, at the bathrooms and elevators. Those are usually in Braille. So if you know Braille, you can read those and make sure you're going into the right bathroom and make sure you're on the right floor when you're using an elevator. Those kind of things. So, and then the biggest thing that people can do is just to be aware that Lighthouse exists. That's the one thing. One of the biggest issues that we have, our students don't always know that Lighthouse Central Florida is out there. And it's one of those things, if you don't need it, you don't think about it. But when vision loss happens to a lot of people, they don't even know that we exist. So that's a constant thing that we try to do, is get awareness out there. And the other thing is, to do all this, it takes money. So we are always looking for donations. We're always looking for, help with that kind of, we get some things from grants and from organizations, but it doesn't cover everything. So it takes money for the staff. It takes money to, get resources and get technology. So those are just some of the things that, can help a lot.
Okay, so what is your favorite book to read?
Oh, I think one of my favorite books that I've read in a long time was Ready Player One. I really enjoyed that book. It was a nice long read, and it was kind of a little bit of technology and a little bit of fantasy, and it was also about video games, which is always good.
Yep. Do you have a website or Facebook for my listeners to want to follow you?
I do have a website. I have all of my contact info and everything is on my website. It's webfriendlyhelp.com. You can follow me on Twitter at webfriendlyhelp, Facebook, same thing, webfriendlyhelp, and LinkedIn, webfriendlyhelp. So everything's there. Made it pretty easy.
Wow. So, what is that one question that you think I forgot to ask you?
Oh, wow. You didn't ask me if I was married. Most people want to know that.
All right, well, are you married?
So I am married. I have been married for almost 17 years, and I love it. So yeah, that's one thing most people want to know, but I am married, and my wife's name is Judy.
So do you want to say hi to Judy?
Sure. Hi, Judy. I love you.
Thank you, Casey, for being my special guest. Can you stick around for Math Corners?
Sure.
Mid-State Fire has been providing top-quality fire equipment services for 3 generations to the Central Florida area. Don't wait for an emergency to repair. Call Mid-State Fire today at 407-246-8855. Get your fire extinguishers and emergency lighting for both your home and businesses by visiting www.midstatefire.com. That number again is 407-246-8855. The Tiberius Show would like to thank Boggy Creek Airboat Adventures for being one of our sponsors. I got to go on an airboat and saw a real gator. I even got to go to the gem mine and mine for some gems. We ate a steak dinner at the restaurant and even got some gator bites. If you want to have a blast with the entire family, I suggest you go to www.bcairboats.com right now. Get your tickets today. The website again is bcairboats.com. Oak Ridge Gun Range is a family-oriented shooting range that has been in business for over 30 years. They specialize in basic firearm training and offer numerous services such as consignments, gun trades, gunsmithing, and concealed weapon classes. I even got my training for gun safety at Oak Ridge Gun Range. Great customer service, and firearm safety is what they do best. So find out more at oakridgegunrange.com.
Get ready, it's time for the Bowling Score Report.
So, I got to go bowling this week at Boardwalk Bowling, and well, we had a party! We celebrated the completion of our fall league. We had some food and games. And my team got first place, and we got a trophy. I did have to leave early to make rehearsal for our Christmas story at Theater West End, which opens December 6th. So, if you want to go bowling with me, be sure to join me for the new Winter League at Boardwalk Bowling Saturdays at 10 a.m. in the morning, bro.
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners.
Thank you so much, Casey, for helping me with Math Corners. Today, we're going to talk about how blind people work with fractions. So I've been doing my iXL.com math exercises, make it into a number of problems that have to do with fractions. But I never thought about how a blind person thinks about math or learns about fractions. So I looked in iXL and found nothing. So my dad said to look at Google, and I found about the Braille rulers and blocks with the little nubs on them to show the size of the block. I also learned about Dr. Abraham Nemeth, who decided to make a special code to represent the operators in math so that blind people could do math on paper. For those that don't know, the operators are plus, minus, times, and so forth. Before Dr. Nemeth, there was no way to represent operators in Braille. Then, I learned about a special ruler that you can touch to feel marks, and you can count how many marks are in the hole. With it, you can use your fingers to find 4/12, and then you can figure out to reduce it to 1/3. Is that correct, Casey?
Yeah, and that's a great kind of intro to math. And when I was in school doing math, one of the things that my teachers did for me to help me was with a pizza. I was always excited about pizza, so when they said 1/2, I took half the pizza away, and that was not good for me, so I wanted the whole thing. So they used the slices of pizza to help me understand fractions.
Well, I also learned about fractions with the pizza that my dad put in front of me.
Nice.
I wanted all of it. Like, I had to have 3/8, 1/2, all of that. So thank you so much, Casey, for your help with Math Corners.
No problem.
And now it's time for a Heart of a Lion. As you know, we talk about the qualities of living by a Heart of a Lion, which stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and ability. This week, we're going to talk about obedience. For me, I think obedience is being fully committed to doing what is pleasing to God. Qualities of obedience are compliance with a good attitude and respect for the laws. You know when someone is obedient when they follow instructions willingly and thoroughly. So this week, we're going to talk about obedience. For me, I think obedience is being fully committed to doing what is pleasing to God. Qualities of obedience are compliance with a good attitude and respect for the laws. You know when someone is obedient when they follow instructions willingly and thoroughly. So I picked obedience because I have been listening to the instructions from my teachers at school. Well, I guess they noticed because I got a Lion Strong Award. It was for doing what is right even when no one else is looking. I was very proud that I received the award and could not wait to tell my parents. I really enjoy spreading the word about being Lion Strong and helping others learn about these great qualities. So Casey, did you see or use obedience at all this week?
Yeah, well, I guess one of the things that I have done is, we have to try to get our paperwork done at the end of the day every day, and that's not always easy to do. We actually are supposed to get it done in, I think it's 5 days, but I try to get it done every day, just to get it done and to be, obedient that way at work.
So, of all the Heart of a Lion virtues, which is your favorite?
I think I like integrity. I think I like that one the best.
Okay. And that's our show, folks. I want to thank the one, the only, the amazing Casey Mathews for being my special guest this week. It has been so much fun talking with you today, and I hope I visit Lighthouse one day and see all about how they help people to live, learn, and earn with vision loss.
Great. Well, look forward to having you there. Thanks so much for having me on the show, Tiberius. And please visit www.lighthousecfl.org, and you can also visit us on YouTube.
Okay. And be sure to listen to us next week on the Tiberius Show. The Tiberius Boy!
The Tiberius Show is not filmed in front of a live studio audience. Executive producer Joseph Boyd, production editor Pierre Laguerre, Green Room manager Danny Boyd, broadcast associate James Smith, and your program host Tiberius Boy. The Tiberius Show is copyright 2018.